Hello, Cougar Nation, and welcome here to Concordia University Chicago and River Forest at the Thunderdome for Concordia Chicago baseball. Got a doubleheader coming up between your Concordia University Chicago Cougars and the visiting Marian University Sabres. Both teams coming off of doubleheader losses coming in today. The Cougars coming off a doubleheader loss in conference to the Milwaukee School of Engineering up at MSOE. Marian, on the other hand, coming off of a doubleheader loss out of conference to UW-Stevens Point this past weekend. But before that, they also suffered that doubleheader loss to MSOE in their last conference matchup on the season. As a total, both of these teams have gotten started in conference. The Cougars so far this season sitting at 3-3 in conference, 10-10 overall, a 500 team up to this point in the season. Marian, on the other hand, they've struggled a bit more. They're 7-9 overall, and they've slipped to 1-3 in conference. That one conference win coming over Illinois Tech in their conference opener.
Batting second in right field, number 23, Tyler Dorsch.
Both these teams getting ready for a doubleheader. First game will be 7 innings. Second game will be 9 innings.
The cleanup batter plays at first base, number 10, Michael Kasich.
And while we get ready to get going here, we'll run through a bit of the history between these two teams. And it is definitely a one-sided history between CUC and Marian. These two teams have been playing since 2007 within the NAC, and it has been all Cougars since then. The Cougars lead the all-time series 30 wins to 3 wins for Marian. Marian only picking up that last win all the way back in April of 2015. They picked up only 1 win over the Cougars between 2010 and today in 2024. The Cougars riding a 16-game win streak over the Marian headed into today. And that's not to say there haven't been some close games between these teams, but the Cougars, they've been on a roll against this Marian team for years now. Marian looking to break that streak, looking to get back up to 500 in conference today. The Cougars looking to get back above 500 by picking up some wins against Marian today. And down on the field, they'll get ready for the national anthem. We'll take a short break here. We'll be back just momentarily to get started for some Cougar baseball. Welcome back to Cougar Stadium, to the Thunderdome, as these two teams get ready to kick off the action today. Marian, the visitors, they'll bat first. And we'll run through that Marian batting order real quick right here. Leading off for the Sabres, number 16, is number 16, Jacob Kleeman. Batting second, the designated hitter, number 18, Dylan Peace. Batting third, the third baseman, number 36, Logan Raidman. Batting cleanup today for the Sabres, their catcher, number 28, Ryan Nelson. Batting fifth, the shortstop, Robbie Knorr. Batting sixth, the first baseman, James Bornick. Batting 7th, the second baseman, number 24, Riley Palmquist. Batting 8th, number 12, the right fielder, Andrew Schrader. And batting 9th, the center fielder, number 11, Tyler Blum. Just looking at that lineup, as usual, you'll see with most lineups, a lot of high average guys up at the top of the order. Jacob Kleeman batting .340 on the season as he leads off for this team. The Sabres still riding a player with a 400-plus batting average so far. Logan Raidman batting .438 on the season up to this point. But as you see your Cougars take the field out there, we'll run through their defensive positioning real quick. On the mound today for the Cougars, it's number 51, Wyatt McLaughlin, one of your lead arms all season so far for the Cougars. Making up the other half of that battery with McLaughlin is the catcher for today, number 9, Brandon Mahler. Your infield going from left all the way over to right is at third base, Tyler Grader, shortstop, Yashawn Boswell, second base, Jake Mahler, and first base, Michael Kasich. And then your outfield, number 21, Julio Cajigas, starting in left field, number 19, Elijah Hickman, starting out in center, and over in right, number 23, Tyler Dorsch for the Cougars. As they finish getting warmed up out there, McLaughlin on the season so far been one of the more rock-solid pitchers for this Cougars team. He's one of their go-to starters, 4.61 ERA on the season. Most of his starts have gone pretty well. He's a high strikeout pitcher, averages over 1 strikeout per inning. High strikeouts. He will give up contact. He'll give up good contact, but it's hard to get that contact going up against McLaughlin, and that's the strength you get when you have Wyatt McLaughlin on the mound.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're glad to have you with us this afternoon. And now it's time to settle in, get ready, get excited.
As into the batter's box starts your leadoff batter for the Sabres, number 16, Jacob Kleeman. Kleeman on the season, batting .340. Got 5 extra base hits on the season so far. High on base percentage, getting on base at 49% of his at-bats.
First pitch thrown at 12:01, game time temperature 49 degrees.
1-0 count here on Kleeman. McLaughlin delivers, and that's going to be a swinging strike. Foul tip. McLaughlin, last time out on the mound was last weekend in the first game of the doubleheader against MSOE, and he pitched lights out. 6 innings pitched, no runs allowed for McLaughlin in a game where the Cougars ended up losing 1-0. Two count on Kleeman here early. McLaughlin looking to kick off his game with a strikeout. Kleeman trying to get on base for a very potent top of the lineup for the Sabres. McLaughlin winds up and delivers. That's going to be high for ball 3. And Kleeman's worked himself into a full count to kick off this game. Three-two pitch on its way. Kleeman going to drive that one into right field. Dorsch headed back, gets under it, makes the play. Jacob Kleeman deep fly out to right field to lead off this game. That's going to be out number 1 as up to the plate comes number 18, Dylan Peace.
Batting second, the designated hitter, number 18, Dylan Peace.
Dylan Peace stepping in, and he'll take that first pitch low in for strike 1. That's strike 1 on Dylan Peace. And Peace grounds that one over to second. Mahler fields it, gets it over to Kasich for out number 2. 4-3 grounder makes it 2 outs. McLaughlin working through this inning very well so far.
Batting third, the third baseman, number 36, Logan Radaman.
Stepping up to the plate now for the Sabres, Logan Radaman. Radaman, that player who's batting .438 on the season. High contact for Logan Radaman. Picks up a few extra base hits with it, too. 8 doubles, 2 triples on the season for Radaman. Slugging .688. One count on Radaman. McLaughlin delivers, and that's going to be low and in there. Strike 3. McLaughlin rings up Radaman to end the inning. It's a 1-2-3, top of the first for the Sabres and the Cougars. They're riding a great defensive first inning into the bottom of the first. We'll be back shortly for more Cougar baseball. And a welcome back to the Thunderdome here in River Forest as the Cougars come up to bat, leading off for Concordia Chicago. It's Julio Cajigas, and he'll take that first pitch high for ball 1. On the mound today for the Sabres, Riley Richard, as Cajigas flies that one to left field, and that'll drop. Jacob Kleeman makes the grab, and that's out number 1. Cajigas flies out to left field. And that's going to be the first out of the inning for Riley Richard.
Batting second,
Riley Richard, one of the more statistically impressive pitchers on this team for Marian. 3.55 ERA. Strikes out 22, giving up 10 earned runs. Has not allowed a single extra base hit all season. 0-2 count early here on Dorsch. Dorsch coming into today, batting at .359, one of the more consistent, rock-solid hitters on this Cougar team. Takes that pitch for ball 1. 1-2 count now on Dorsch. And he'll get rung up. Looking, Tyler Dorsch is going to head back to the dugout. That's a very quick 2 outs here for Riley Richard, who's working efficiently early on here in the first inning.
batting third, the catcher, number 9, Mahler.
Brandon Mahler coming up to the plate for the Cougars. Mahler had a very hot start to this season, and he slowed down a bit, but that's not to say his performance has fallen off cliff. Still batting .361 on the year. This is a Cougars top of the lineup that is very, very consistent, and Brandon Mahler's been a huge part of that on the season. 1-1 count here on Mahler. Richard winds up and delivers. That's going to be low and outside. Mahler checks his string. That's ball 2. Mahler trying to keep the inning alive here. Mahler going to head that one over to shortstop. Knorr fields it, gets over to first. Great stretch from James Bornick to make that play. But that's going to be out number 3. Cougars scoreless in the first inning. Marian scoreless after the first. We're going to head to the top of the second here. We're all tied up at 0-0 here in River Forest. And welcome back here to River Forest for the top of the second. Marian coming back up to the plate. They went down 1-2-3 in the first inning, and now up to the plate for the Sabres, it is Ryan Nelson. Nelson batting .333 on the season. We get a short break here. Batter and pitcher reset. McLaughlin kicking off his body of work here in the second inning with a ball down low. 1-0 count on Nelson. Nelson batting .333 on the year. 15 hits, 1 double. No other extra base hits to speak of. So foul that one off for strike 1. 1-1 count now on the catcher. McLaughlin delivers way inside. That's going off the numbers of Nelson. He'll head to first. With a hit by pitch, and Marian, they're the first to get a man on base. Now they have a man on first, no outs. As up to the plate comes the shortstop, Robbie Knorr. And the first opportunity for the Sabres to start working a base runner around. Robbie Knorr on the season, batting .304. Another one of those players who isn't really batting for power on this Sabres squad. .1-0 pitch on Knorr is high for ball 2. 2-0 count on Knorr. Nelson over at first base. Pitch on its way. And that's just high once again. Ball 3. And Knorr finding himself in a very favorable hitter's count here with a man on base. McLaughlin checks over to first and delivers. And that one's going to be in there for a strike. So McLaughlin starting to try and work back into this at bat. Pick off over to first, just a bit late. Nelson able to get back safely. McLaughlin going to go for another pickoff again. Nelson back in plenty of time. And we've seen this a couple times whenever McLaughlin's on the mound for the Cougars. If he hits a batter, then it usually will take him a bit to get back in the mindset, dial back in to being in on a roll, getting strikes, getting outs. Works his way back into a full count here against Robbie Knorr. So McLaughlin maybe getting out of that sort of slip very quickly here, getting back into his groove. McLaughlin delivers. That's going to be fouled straight back by Knorr, who will stay alive. Good fight up at the plate right here. Knorr going from a 3-0 count, now having to fight his way in a full count. McLaughlin, another pickoff over to first. Nelson back in plenty of time. Fourth pickoff attempt over on Nelson this at bat. Nelson, 1 stolen base on the season on 1 attempt. McLaughlin delivers, swing and a miss. McLaughlin comes back from a 3-0 count to take down Robbie Knorr. And now up to the plate for Marian University, number 7, James Bornick. The lefty. McLaughlin delivers. That's going to be in there for strike 1. One 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed. Strike 2. McLaughlin definitely looking like he's back into that groove here. Going from a 3-0 count, gets a strikeout. Now already up on an 0-2 count here on James Bornick. As here's the 0-2 pitch. Bornick grounds that one over to short. Boswell fields it over to first. Tough play. Ball just a bit late. Not able to get enough on it with the momentum going the other way. That's going to be an infield single for James Bornick. Runners on first and second now for the Sabres. As up to the plate comes Riley Palmquist.
Batting 7th, the second baseman, number 24, Riley Palmquist.
Palmquist, right-handed batter, pitch on its way in there for a strike, and just gave up a hit. But McLaughlin dialed in right now on the mound, finding the zone very well. Palmquist on the season hitting .242, 4 RBIs on the season for Riley Palmquist. He's the first batter for Marian today who's at the plate with a batter in scoring position. 0-2 count now on Palmquist after the foul ball right there. McLaughlin checks back to second now, delivers, high, ball 1. 1-2 count on the second baseman. Nelson over at second. Not high stolen base totals, but definitely takes an aggressive lead out on the base paths. McLaughlin delivers. Off-speed pitch in there, strike 3. Palmquist goes down looking. He checks over to the ump, checks back out the field, and takes a slow walk back. McLaughlin able to paint the edges right there. And now 2 outs with 2 runners on for Andrew Schrader up at the plate. McLaughlin pick off back to second, throw a bit off. Great play from Mahler to jump over the bag and keep it from going into the outfield. McLaughlin checks back twice, winds up and delivers in there. Strike one once again. McLaughlin, after that hit by pitch to start off the inning, he's been finding the zone very well. The command has been very good for McLaughlin as he finds himself getting another 0-2 count here on Andrew Schrader. As the home plate umpire going to head over and have a quick conversation with Cougar head coach Colin Connor. Catcher Brandon Mahler reaffirming with his team where your force outs are, keeping them in the momentum that they're in. And not too sure what that communication down on the field was. There's a reset here. It's an 0-2 count on Andrew Schrader. Runners at first and second. 2 outs. McLaughlin delivers. Schrader tried to check up and couldn't. Strike 3. And Wyatt McLaughlin gave up a hit by pitch to start the inning and then dialed in. 3 strikeouts for Wyatt McLaughlin in the top of the second. We'll bring it. We'll head to a break. We'll be back for the bottom of the second here at the Thunderdome. Welcome back here to the Thunderdome as up to the plate for the Cougars comes Michael Kasich. Still tied up here 0-0 in the bottom of the second. Kasich heads that one over to second. Knorr charging, getting it over to first. Bornick having to step off the bag after he makes the play. Good stretch from Bornick once again over at first base, and that's going to be out number 1. Quick 2 pitches for Riley Richard, who has been incredibly efficient on the day so far. Up to the plate for the Cougars now, Tyler Crater. Crater hits that one into right field, and that is going to be caught up on the warning track by Andrew Schrader. Crater able to send that one deep, not deep enough. That's going to be quick out number 2. Richard, only 3 pitches, and he's already got 2 outs here in the bottom of the second.
Second baseman number 5, Jake Mahler.
Mahler takes that first pitch for a strike. Mahler, he's a batter who had a slow start to the year, but has really heated up as the year's gone on. Short, choppy foul, play almost made in foul territory by Radaman to end the inning, but now Jake Mahler going to find himself in an 0-2 count here. Mahler on the season, he's batting .464. He's really heated up in the last couple weeks for the Cougars. Had a big pair of games going up against Dominican University here a couple weeks ago. Mahler gets on base at a higher rate than any other Cougar, 625 on base percentage. He'll foul that one off. 2-2 count on Jake Mahler here. Riley Richard trying to get past Mahler here, trying to end the inning as quickly as he can, and that one's going to paint the outside edge. Jake Mahler is going to take a slow walk back to the dugout on that one. He gets caught looking. And Riley Richard, 1, 2, 3. He has been lights out to start out this game. We'll take a short break. We'll be back for the top of the third here in River Forest. And welcome back here in River Forest for some more baseball in the first match of a doubleheader between Marian University and Concordia University Chicago. Top of the third is up to the plate to lead off this inning for the Sabres is Tyler Blum. Fouls that pitch back for strike one. Blum coming in today, hitting .318, getting on base at a rate of .364. Not walking much at all, only one walk drawn on the season. And he finds himself in an 0-2 count early here up against Wyatt McLaughlin. Pitchers on both ends for these teams have been pitching very well to start off these games. Blum going to foul that one over the Cougar dugout. He'll stay alive. Still finding himself in an 0-2 count is Blum, trying to get another man on to start off the inning for the Sabres. McLaughlin delivers off speed high for ball one. One, two count here for Blum. Pitch just high once again for ball two. Good eye from Blum right there to watch one just on above the top of the zone, and he's evened up the count now once again. Fouls that one back. Stays alive once again. Blum about to face the seventh pitch of the at-bat here in an at-bat where he started down 0-2. 2-2 count. On Blum, pitch on its way. Blum takes a hack at it and misses. McLaughlin finally picks up the strikeout. Blum heads back to the dugout, is up to the plate for the second time today. Comes Jacob Kleeman. Kleeman had a deep fly out to right field his first time up. Kleeman showing bunt early. He'll go low for ball 1. One-0 count on Kleeman. McLaughlin delivers. High and outside, ball 2. Jacob Kleeman getting on base at .492. 11 walks on the season for the left fielder as he'll take that pitch for a strike. McLaughlin finding the zone for the first time this at-bat. But Kleeman gets on base at the second highest rate of any player on this Sabres team. And he'll take a swing at that one. That one's into right field once again. This time it gets down. Heading towards the corner. Dorsch charging. Picks it up. Gets it in. Kleeman plenty of time to get into second base. That's going to be a leadoff double to kick off this third inning for Jacob Kleeman.
Designated hitter number 18, Dylan Pease.
That's not a leadoff double. It is a double, however, now with just one out and the top of the order coming up. The Sabres have a man in scoring position for Dylan Pease. And Pease fouls that one back to start off his at-bat. He goes down 0-1 early here. Pease, you look out there, it's one of the more relaxed batting stances you'll find from a player. Has that bat held straight up. Not in an aggressive crouch. So he fouls that one back for strike 2, but Pease able to make it work on the season. .318 batting average, slugging .409. .0-2 count now on Dylan Pease. McLaughlin checks back to second, checking on Kleeman. And delivers on Pease. That one outside for ball 1. Kleeman on the season, 7 for 8 on stolen base attempts, coming from second here with just one out. Not exactly a situation where you have to go for that stolen base. You're not at that critical point of the game yet, and Dylan Pease getting himself into a 2-2 count here as McLaughlin delivers high. 2 balls, 2 strikes here on Dylan Pease. Man on second, 1 out. McLaughlin checking back. Kleeman doing a dance. He's going to go for third. Mahler gets it over there, and the throwdown is to the right of Crater. Kleeman's going to be home easily to score, and the Sabres strike first. Defensive mishap from the Cougars right there. Mahler threw it to the right of the bag to try and pin Kleeman. Crater went a bit too far left and then slid out when he tried to double back to grab the ball. The Sabres capitalize. And it's now 1-0 Marian University over the Cougars as McLaughlin delivers low for ball 4, and now Pease is going to head over to first. And this is a productive start of the inning for the Marian University Sabres. Pease battles back from an 0-2 count to a walk.
Third baseman, number 36, Logan Radaman.
Up to the plate now with a man on first and 1 out for the Sabres is Logan Radaman. Radaman struck out his first time up. This time he's going to pop up into short right field. Dorsch coming on. Mahler headed over, and it'll be Mahler to make the play. That'll make it out number 2 on the inning.
Catcher number 28, Ryan Nelson.
Ryan Nelson, the cleanup man, coming up to the plate. Ryan Nelson hit by a pitch his first time up. That pitch in there for a first pitch strike. 0-1 count on Nelson. Nelson, like we mentioned, hitting .333 on the season. slugging for 356. And he took that hit by pitch from McLaughlin in the first inning. He's actually a very high hit by pitch rate player. He's been hit by a pitch 7 times this season, more than any other player on this team. As McLaughlin's going to get called for the balk. Nelson started going. McLaughlin got clutched up. And it's going to be a free base for Dylan Peace. Now a runner on second with 2 outs and an 0-1 count for Ryan Nelson. Pitch on its way. Nelson watches that one go for strike 2. Nelson trying to do something here with a man in scoring position. Two-two count here on Nelson. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs for the catcher. McLaughlin checks back to Peace at second. Checks back again. Now delivers. Nelson heads that one over to short. Boswell gloves it, sends it over to first. Cassett grabs it for the out, and that'll win the inning. But it's the Marian University Sabres who strike first. The Sabres lead 1-0 over the Cougars. We'll take a short break, and we'll be back for the bottom of the third here in River Forest. And welcome back here to Concordia, Chicago. We're here at the Thunderdome for the bottom of the third. Cougars trail the Sabres 1-0 here in the bottom of the third. As up to the plate comes Yashawn Boswell going up against Riley Richard. Short chopper over to third. Radaman charges, gets it over to first for out number 1. Richard has been incredibly efficient so far in this game. That pitch right there was just the 20th pitch of the game for Riley Richard, and he has 1 pitch, 1 out here to start off this inning.
The designated hitter, number 15,
Nick Rensberger coming up to the plate now for the Cougars as Richard winds up and delivers. Wastes no time getting the at-bat started, and that one's on the outside edge for strike 1. A 1 count on Rensberger. That one too far outside for ball 1. 1-1 count for the designated hitter. Now Richard delivers again. That one on the outside edge once again for strike 2. Richard, he is a fast pitcher. He does not waste his time getting set and delivering. As that one's going to be low for ball 2. Richard trying to keep up his tempo here. Yet to allow a hit today. Winds up and delivers. Rensberger flies that one towards right field. Schrader gets under it and makes the play for out number 2. 2 outs now for the Cougars. As up to the plate comes Elijah Hickman.
center fielder, number 19, Eli Hickman.
And if you want to talk about players who have really heated up after the start of the season, Eli Hickman is perhaps the best example of that for the Cougars. Hickman now on the season batting .391, better than any other Cougars. 4 doubles, 11 RBIs, slugging .478, taking 15 walks. He's getting on base at a rate of .554.
We're trying to figure out why it's glitching like that. I don't know why it's saying 2274, but
0-2 count on Hickman as that one goes outside for ball 1. 1-2 count on Hickman. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Hickman watches that one go low for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the third for the center fielder Eli Hickman. Riley Richard trying to battle through that third at bat. Hickman takes a big swing. It's a foul tip right there to stay alive. Hickman's going to keep that 2-2 count. Richard followed kind of this pattern in the last couple innings. Delivers right there. Hickman flies that one into left field. That's taking a very weird path, and that's going to hit the ground. Kleeman lost track of it. Hickman easily into second standing. And Eli Hickman gets the first hit of the day for the Cougars with a double here in the bottom of the third. Jacob Kleeman playing very, very short in right there. The Sabres trying to play off of the fact that Hickman does not hit deep too many times, but right there, it caught him on the distance and it caught him on the path of the ball. That path taking an arc, curving a bit midair. Kleeman unable to track it well. Up to the plate for the Cougars for the second time today is Julio Cajigas. Cajigas flew out to left his first time up. He sits in a 1-0 count here. Richard winds up and delivers. Cajigas drives that one over towards right field. Schrader mistracked it, able to double back and make the play. And that'll do it. Out number 3. Cougars scoreless, but they get their first hit of the day on an Eli Hickman double. We'll take a short break and head to the top of the 4th. We'll be back in just a moment. And welcome back to the Thunderdome here in the top of the fourth inning. Marian leads 1-0 over the Cougars. As up to the plate comes Robbie Knorr. Knorr struck out swinging his first time up at the plate. McLaughlin delivers. That one on the outside edge for strike one. McLaughlin threw 3 innings pitched today, giving up 2 hits, allowed no earned runs, has 5 strikeouts. As that's a short grounder over towards third. That dribble is foul. Knorr finding himself in a quick 0-2 count here to kick off the top of the fourth as he makes his way back to the batter's box. McLaughlin sets himself, winds up and delivers. High, and that's a worm burner up the middle of the field. Gets past McLaughlin, and that's going to be into center field. Base hit for Robbie Knorr to kick off the top of the fourth. And for the second inning running, Marian will have a man on base.
First baseman number 7, James Bornick.
Bornick coming up to the plate now for the Sabres. Had an infield single over to short his first time up. McLaughlin tries for the pickoff attempt right there. McLaughlin winds up and delivers. Bornick, big swing and a miss. That one just over the bat. Strike one. On the season, Robbie Knorr, no stolen bases, no stolen base attempts. McLaughlin picks off once again. Oh, 1 count on Bornick, showing bunt and sticking with it as the pitch comes through for strike 2. 0-2 count on James Bornick. He was in this situation his first time up, converted it to an infield single. Another pickoff throw right there for Wyatt McLaughlin's no good. McLaughlin going with a 1 pitch, 1 pickoff attempt strategy here with Knorr over at first base as he delivers once again high and outside for ball 1. And Bornick will stay alive. 1-2 count on James Bornick. McLaughlin delivers. Bornick fouls that one back to stay alive. McLaughlin checks over to first. Throws over once again. Now Robbie Knorr over at first, not taking much of a lead at all anymore. Chilling short on the base path. McLaughlin delivers. In there! Strike 3. Bornick goes down looking. And he sits there for a minute before headed out of the batter's box slowly. Strikeout number 6 on the day for Wyatt McLaughlin. And that's the first out of the inning. Riley Palmquist coming up to the plate for the second time today. He struck out looking his first time up. And he'll foul that first pitch over towards right field. Dorsch making a hustle. Won't get there. Couldn't have gotten there. Just heads over the outside fence. That'll be strike number 1 of the at-bat. Palmquist on the season coming in today, batting .242. Slugging .273, getting on base at a rate of .342. Not exactly a big threat at the plate statistically is Riley Palmquist. But the Sabres do have a man on. Anything in play could potentially advance Robbie Knorr. 2-1 count on Palmquist here. McLaughlin throws over to first. Nelson Knorr is back easily. Two-one count on Palmquist. McLaughlin delivers. Palmquist fouls that one hard down the left baseline for strike two. Two balls, two strikes, one out here for the second baseman, number 24. McLaughlin checks over to first. Now delivers. Palmquist reaches out, pokes that one over to third. Crater can't get a glove on it. And that's going to be a base hit for Riley Palmquist. And now two men on at first and second for the Sabres with just one out here in the top of the fourth.
Right fielder number 12.
Coming up to the plate now for Marian University, Andrew Schrader. He struck out swinging his last time up at the plate. Now he has a man in scoring position, and Robbie Knorr got another man over at first, and Riley Palmquist as he takes that first pitch high for ball one. 1-0 count on Andrew Schrader. Schrader made a good play in right field to end the Cougars' last inning. McLaughlin delivers in there for strike one. McLaughlin's been liking that outside edge over on towards the left-handed batter's box a lot today. Pitch on its way. Schrader fouls that one up for strike two. One-two count on Andrew Schrader. Runners at first and second. McLaughlin giving up 4 hits today, allowed a run, yet to allow an earned run. As that one's going to be flown into right field. Dorsch coming over on it, and he'll make the play. Knorr tags up, and he'll be in over to third. Crater fields it. And some great base running from Riley Palmquist right there. Awareness of where Dorsch's throw to third base was. Jumped on the opportunity to go and take second. Now you're going to have runners at second and third for Tyler Blum.
Center fielder number 11, Tyler Bloom.
Blum takes that first pitch low for ball one. Last time up at the plate, Tyler Blum struck out swinging. And that's going to be a base hit into left field. Run will score. Cajigas gets it in. And Tyler Blum drives in a run right there. Marian University extend their lead. It's 2-0 Sabres. And Blum, just a really good job right there of jumping on a pitch he could hit, making contact, putting it where there wasn't anyone. And Marian extends their lead here early. 2-0 lead now for the Sabres. Is up to the plate is Jacob Kleeman. His last time up, Kleeman doubled into right field. That pitch low for ball one. One-0 count on Jacob Kleeman. Runners at the corners here for Marian University. It's Palmquist over at third and Tyler Blum over at first. Blum 2 for 5 on stolen base attempts on the season, and this isn't a situation where you need a stolen base right here for the Sabres, as there's another throw over to first from Wyatt McLaughlin. So far on the season, Jacob Kleeman, 10 RBIs. Blum showed to go for a bit, doubled back. 2-0 count now on Jacob Kleeman. Brandon Mahler at the backstop trying to settle Wyatt McLaughlin down, trying to help him close out this inning, stop the damage where it's already been done. 2-0 pitch on its way. That's going to be low for ball 3. Jacob Kleeman, great eye to start off this at-bat. He is in the optimal hitters count here. 3-0 count with runners on the corners. 2 outs. Going to have to be a base hit to score a run here from Kleeman. Pitch on its way. In there, strike 1. McLaughlin still trying to keep this at-bat alive from his perspective, trying to get Kleeman out. Kleeman, he would definitely be content with a walk. Dylan Peace coming up after him, hitting .318 on the year. McLaughlin delivers. Swing and a miss right there. And some hesitation from Brandon Mahler on the throw down to second and throw to first. Everyone's safe, and now it's runners at second and third with a full count for Jacob Kleeman. That'll be Tyler Blum's 3rd stolen base of the year. Full count here on Kleeman. That ball's low for ball 4. He'll head over to first, and now it's going to be bases loaded with 2 outs for Dylan Peace. Wyatt McLaughlin trying to stop the bleeding here. Marian to do some damage as, wow, I get a mound visit from the CUC coaching staff. Wyatt McLaughlin didn't want the mound visit. He wanted the opportunity to just try and finish out the inning on Peace right there. Marian University. Bases loaded, 2 outs. The vibes are looking great over in the dugout right now. And it's just been a lot of small ball for the Sabres so far today, taking advantage of walks, taking advantage of small miscues, infield singles, ground balls through the infield, finding the gaps. Marian University just doing a great job of that so far today.
Designated hitter number 18, Dylan Peace.
Dylan Peace up to the plate now for Marian University. Pitch on its way. He'll take that pitch for a strike. Throw over to first. Not in time. Mahler had to take a step to get around Peace so that he could make the throw. Pitch on its way. Peace fouls that one back for strike 2. In a high leverage situation here, Dylan Peace has himself in a 0-2 count. McLaughlin trying to get out of this jam. Dylan Peace trying to break this one open early. And a swing and a miss. Dylan Peace, green light the whole way and just didn't track the ball. And that'll end the inning. Wyatt McLaughlin strikes out the designated hitter to get out of it for the Cougars, but the damage is done. 1 run scored for the Sabres. They lead 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. We'll be back in just a moment. And welcome back to the Thunderdome here in the bottom of the fourth. Cougars trail 2-0 to the Sabres. Tyler Dorsch, the number 2 hitter for the Cougars, coming into the plate to start off this inning. Richard delivers that one outside for ball 1. Richard only giving up 1 hit on the day, a double to Eli Hickman. That double surrendered to Eli Hickman. It was a bit of a weird double. It was mistracked from the left fielder, Jacob Kleeman. The first extra base hit that Riley Richard has allowed all season, and Richard now, after that third inning, 28 innings pitched on the season. There's a short chopper from Dorsch, hustling over to first, just unable to beat it out. Marian, some good, quick adaptation defense right there for out number 1. As up to the plate for the second time today comes Brandon Mahler. Mahler grounded out to short his first time up at the plate. Richard quickly winds up and delivers that one in there for strike 1. And that high tempo on the mound from Riley Richard is such a big part of his game. There's another strike. Brandon Mahler finding himself in a quick 0-2 count right here. And Brandon Mahler going to lace that one into right field for a base hit. That one's going towards the corner. Mahler hustling for 2. He'll get in standing, and it's a double for Brandon Mahler. Another extra base hit for the Cougars. And they now have a man in scoring position with 1 out here. Coming up to the plate now for the Cougars, Michael Kasich with a man on second and 1 out. Kasich grounded out to shortstop as well, his first time up. Richard now slowing his process a bit so he has time to check the runner over at second. Delivers high, ball 1. One-0 count on Kasich. Richard sets himself. Checks back to second. Now he's going to wind up and deliver. Kasich, hard grounder into right field for a base hit. Mahler hustling. He's going for home. And it'll be in safe. The defense from Marian right there, where they were not expecting Mahler to head for home. And the right fielder, Andrew Schrader, just kind of lazily lobbed it in to James Bornick at first base. And the Cougars, their third base coach, great awareness right there from Brandon Mahler to take advantage of the opportunity and get on the board for the Cougars. Man on first, 1 out for Tyler Crater, and Crater will foul that one off. One-0 count on Crater. Pitch on its way outside, ball 1. Tyler Crater coming into today for the Cougars, batting .282 on the season, but he has been a power threat. 4 home runs, 2 doubles, slugging .500 for CUC. Sitting in a 2-1 count with 1 out and a man over at first. Now Richard delivers, and that is going to be just outside for ball 3. And a major difference you can see out on the field from Riley Richard is that whenever there's a batter on base, he has to slow down his pitching process. He has to check over to the runner. He can't deliver as quickly as he likes to. And that tempo, keeping that rhythm, is such a big part of Richard's game. It allows him to just start mowing down batters and just keep the foot on the gas. And once a batter gets on, it's an opportunity for the offense because Richard now is forced to break out of that rhythm and slow it up. Full count on Crater. Fouls that one back to stay alive. And this has been the most inefficient inning for Riley Richards so far. And a game that has been remarkably efficient on the mound for Richard. Even now, only 46 pitches thrown through 4 innings as Crater flies that one into right field. Schrader heading over, making the play in the sun. CUC doubling back to first. That'll make it 2 outs. As up to the plate comes Yashawn Jake Mahler. Yashawn Boswell on deck for the Cougars. Mahler struck out looking his first time up. That ball off the chest protector of Nelson to the ground. CUC will stay at first. 1-0 count on Mahler here. And Jake Mahler, one half of the Mahler twins. Brandon Mahler had that double earlier in the inning, and Brandon Mahler was the runner who scored for the Cougars. That pitch in for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here for Jake Mahler. Richard winds up and delivers inside for ball 2. Mahler doing a little jump, getting out of the way. Now has a 2-1 count. Richard checks over to first and delivers. That one just on the outside edge for strike 2. Both pitchers able to use that outside edge very well. That's been a spot where you'll consistently get a call today, is if you pitch on the outside of the strike zone. Mahler takes a swing at that one to stay alive, fouls it back into the netting. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs for the second baseman, Jake Mahler. Cougars trailing the Sabres 2-1 as Richard sends the pitch. That's a hot shot over to third. Great fielding from Logan Radaman right there. And that'll end the inning. Logan Radaman able to snag that one on a jump. And that'll end the inning. Riley Richard gets out of it, but the Cougars get on the board. They only trail by 1 now. It's 2-1 Marian leading the Cougars as we head to the top of the 5th.
number 3.
And welcome back to CUC here for the top of the 5th. Marian leads Concordia 2-1. As up to the plate comes Logan Radaman. Radaman has struck out and flown out so far today as he takes that first pitch low for ball 1. New man on the mound for the Cougars here in the top of the 5th is number 32, Anthony Polano. You want to talk about a rhythm for an offense? It's going to take some getting used to a switch in pitching style from these two pitchers. Anthony Polano, longer motion, larger leg kick than Wyatt McLaughlin, who really doesn't incorporate a leg kick much at all. That one fouled off from Logan Radaman right there. 1-1 count now for the third baseman. Radaman had a great play over at third to end that last inning. 1-1 pitch on its way. That's low for ball 2. 2-1 count here in the top of the 5th. Neither team having any big breakout innings, as Polano able to paint the outside edge right there for strike 2. 2-2 count now. Polano winds up and sends it down home. That's flown into left field. Cajigas checks back, now coming up on it, able to make the play. And that left field is a fun spot to play in right now with how the sun is today, but Cajigas makes the play right there. That's out number 1.
Catcher number 28, Ryan.
And that'll bring Ryan Nelson back up to the plate for the 3rd time today. Nelson grounded out to short his last time up. And he'll try to check his swing at that first pitch, but he's unable to hold up enough, and that'll be strike number 1. Pitch on its way low for ball 1. 1-1 count here on Nelson. And efficiency from a pitcher is a huge part of the game. Riley Richard had a bit of a long 4th inning, but he's been remarkably efficient on the day so far, especially in these 7-inning games that you have in the first part of a doubleheader. You would love for your starter to go as long as you can. And Marian getting a great start out of Riley Richard today so far. That's not even done yet from Riley Richard on the mound. You go over to the Cougars. Got Anthony Polano out on the mound now for CUC. Wyatt McLaughlin, 81 pitches thrown through 4 innings. And that pitch down low for ball 3. Full count on Nelson. It was a good start, though, from Wyatt McLaughlin for the Cougars today. Wyatt McLaughlin, 4 innings pitched. Only gave up 1 earned run. As there's a hot shot over to second. Boswell fields it, gets over to Kasich for the out. Second ground out to short for Ryan Nelson, makes it 2 outs on the inning. As up to the plate comes Robbie Knorr.
Shortstop number 1, Robbie Knorr.
Knorr singled into center his last time up at the plate. And he'll foul that first pitch off for a strike. Going back to McLaughlin's performance on the day, only gave up 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts through 4 innings for McLaughlin, only 2 walks, only 1 extra base hit allowed. Solid start out on the mound for McLaughlin today. But now Anthony Polano working his way through the top of the 5th here and doing so well, has put out the first 2 batters that he's faced. Has himself in a 1-1 count here, going up against Robbie Knorr. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Polano sets himself, now kicks the leg, and that's going to get sent into the gap between left and center field. That's going to get down. That's going to get to the wall. Hickman able to get there and get it in. That'll hold up Knorr at second, but it's a double for Robbie Knorr with 2 outs, and that'll keep the inning alive. And James Bornick will come up to the plate with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs.
First baseman, number 7, James Bornick.
Bornick struck out looking his last time up at the plate. He had a runner in scoring position at that moment as well. Plano kicks and delivers. And that'll be in there. Strike 1 on Bornick. Bornick on the season, 11 RBIs, hitting .259, slugging .519. He goes extra bases more than most players on this Marian squad. Plano delivers. Big swing from Bornick. Throw down to second, just not in time. Knorr able to get back, but James Bornick now in an 0-2 count here with 2 outs. Oh, 2 outs. Plano checks back to second. Now kicks and delivers. Bornick fouls that one up over towards the visitors' dugout. Crater trying to place it, makes the grab in foul territory, and that'll end the inning. Anthony Plano gives up the double but allows no runs in his first inning of work today. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Marian still leads 2-1. And welcome back to the Thunderdome here in the bottom of the 5th. Yashawn Boswell leading off for the Cougars here. Had a short grounder over to third his last time up at the plate. He'll take that first pitch low for ball 1. And Richard, the runners are off the bases, and he can get back to his high-paced tempo. As Yashawn Boswell in a 1-1 count after a swing and a miss right there. Pitch on its way. Boswell swings and misses again. Riley Richard, he loves to waste no time. Now the Cougars have to readjust to that high tempo after that slower last inning. That pitch well outside. Came off the hand of Richard for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Boswell. Pitch on its way. Boswell fouls that one off. Yashawn Boswell on the season for the Cougars, hitting .279, getting on base at a rate of .405. And down towards the bottom of the order, he is a threat at the plate. That one fouled over towards right field, and that one is going to get to the trees. That looks off some of the new blossoms of the trees over well into foul territory over there around the sidewalks of the CUC athletic portion of campus. Stays 2 balls, 2 strikes on Boswell. Richard winds up and delivers. Boswell able to ground that one into left field for a base hit, and the Cougars will have a man on to kick off this inning. Yashawn Boswell perfectly placed right there. And that'll be a man on first for Nick Rensberger. coming up to the plate.
Designated hitter number 15, Nick Rensberger.
Rensberger, his last time out, flew out to deep right field. On the season, Rensberger batting .278. He's slugging .667. If he makes contact, it is hard contact at the plate. He has a man on first with no outs here. Richard, throw down over to first. The first pickoff attempt we've seen from Riley Richard today. And that's because you've got Yashawn Boswell over at first. 4 stolen bases on 6 attempts, stealing bases at a 66% success rate. As Rensberger takes that one for strike 2. 0-2 count now on the designated hitter. Richard delivers low, ball 1. And you're seeing in this at-bat once again how Riley Richard's pitching style has to change when there's a man on first. And that tempo, that rhythm, such a big part of his game. It's a very noticeable shift. Richard gets the call. Now he's going to wind up and deliver. Outside ball 1. Nelson thought about throwing down over to first. Boswell gets back easily. And Nelson's just going to send it back to the mound. 2-2 count now on Nick Rensberger. Richard checks over to first, winds up, delivers. Rensberger, short floater over to short. Logan Radaman charging on it, able to make the play. And that'll be out number 1. Bit of a low pop fly right there from Rensberger. And that'll bring up to the plate Eli Hickman for CUC.
Eli Hickman.
Hickman, his last time up, doubled to left field. Richard delivers. Hickman watches that one go high for ball 1. Man on first for the Cougars in Yashawn Boswell. Just 1 out in the inning as Hickman takes a swing and a miss right there. It's a foul tip. Either way, it's a strike. Now it's going to be a 1-1 count on Eli Hickman. Richard checks over to first. Now he's going to throw over to first. Boswell able to get back in plenty of time. And Richard, he's a lefty on the mound, so he has that ability to very quickly transition to a throw down over to first. Richard delivers. Hickman showing bunt, pulling back, still called a strike. 1-2 count now on the center fielder. Richard checks over to first, delivers. Hickman able to foul it off and stay alive. One out on the inning with a man on first. On deck, you have Julio Cajigas. Flown out both times he's been up at the plate today, but he's another one of those potent hitters. That top 4 of the lineup for the Cougars. Potent is that pitch. Able to paint the outside edge right there. Hickman slow to walk back to the dugout, and that'll be out number 2.
Left fielder number 21,
Now,
Julio Cajigas.
coming up to the plate is that batter I just mentioned, Julio Cajigas. Flown out to left, flew out to right, both of his last times at the plate. Coming into this game, Cajigas batting .313 on the season, slugging .413. Takes that first pitch in for a strike. Richard delivers outside for ball 1. Cahigas on deck. Dorsch on deck. Cahigas batting actively. As Richard delivers, Cahigas fouls that one down the first baseline into right field for strike 2. One, 2 count on Cahigas as he steps back into the box. Richard delivers. Boswell's going for second. Throw down wide right. Boswell able to get in safely. The timing was there for Ryan Nelson to pick him off, but just did not place the throw. Palmquist forced to dive off the bag to prevent it from going into the outfield, and that's a stolen base, the 5th of the year for Yashawn Boswell. Now, with 2 balls and 2 strikes and 2 outs, there's now a man on second for Julio Cahigas. Richard going to check back to second here. He's going to do that short windup and delivery, and Cahigas had the green light and missed. That's going to be strike 3, and that'll end the inning. Cougars get a leadoff man on, unable to do anything with it. And our score remains 2-1 here as we head to the top of the 6th. And welcome back to the Thunderdome, and it's a new man on the mound for the Cougars. The freshman Dylan Ferraro taking place in the middle of the field here. His first pitch outside for a ball on Riley Palmquist. Single to left field. Two-0 count on Palmquist, and now 3-0. That pitch goes outside as well. Great start to the at-bat for Palmquist. Rough start to the at-bat for Dylan Ferraro. As he winds up and delivers this one, that one in for a strike. Palmquist holding up the whole way. 3-1 count. Ferraro delivers. Swing and a foul ball right there. Foul back by Palmquist. As he looks like he twists the ankle awkwardly, he has to take a lap, walk it off. And he finds himself in a full count now. Going up here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch on its way. In there. Strike 3. Palmquist knew it. And Dylan Ferraro comes back from a 3-0 count to ring up Riley Palmquist. That's the first out of the inning, as up to the plate comes Andrew Schrader. Schrader, his last time up at the plate, flew out to right field. Advanced a pair of runners. Neither of them ended up scoring. Ferraro delivers in there, strike 1, and Dylan Ferraro, 3 balls to kick off his outing here, but he's on a roll now. That one on its way. That one painting the outside edge once again, strike 2. (0-2) count on Schrader. Ferraro kicks and delivers, and Schrader got fooled right there with the off speed. And that's strike 3. 3-pitch strikeout. Dylan Ferraro is cooking here in the top of the 6th. Tyler Bloom, his last time up, had a single into left field. He is not very much of a power threat up at the plate, but he does get on base quite a bit. Good average from Bloom. Sitting in an 0-1 count. There's another grounder in left field. And in a repeat of his last time up at the plate, Tyler Bloom is going to have a ground ball into the outfield for a base hit. So now Tyler Bloom's going to be on first base as the top of the order is going to come back up here for Marian. Jacob Kleeman stepping into the box here for the Sabres. Ferraro delivers. That's going to be in there for strike 1. 0-1 count on Kleeman. Ferraro checks over to first. You're going to throw down to first. Blum barely able to get back. His feet slipped a bit when he tried to push himself back. A 1 count on Kleeman. Another throw down over to first. This time Blum is back easily. And the Cougars, you get into these last 2 innings of the first game of the doubleheader. Big swing and a miss. Throw down to second. We'll roll into center field. Stolen base for Tyler Blum, his 3rd of the season. Mahler slow on the reaction right there to get the throw down. It's an 0-2 count on Jacob Kleeman now with a runner at second. 2 outs. Trying to do something, trying to keep this inning going is Jacob Kleeman as pitch is on its way. Kleeman goes down swinging. Dylan Ferraro, 3 strikeouts in his first inning of work today. Great relief outing from the freshman. And we're going to head to the bottom of the 6th. Marian still leads 2-1 over CUC. Welcome back to the Thunderdome. Marian leads Concordia 2-1 here in the bottom of the 6th. Tyler Dorsch at the plate for the Cougars, and he's going to ground that one into right field for a base hit. Another leadoff man on for the Cougars. And now you have the middle of the order. Your biggest threats for the Cougars coming up to the plate with a runner on to lead off the inning. Brandon Mahler, his last time up, started the rally that led to a run being scored for CUC with a double to right field. He was that run that was scored. And he'll take that first pitch on the inside edge for strike one. Richard checks over to first and delivers. Mahler, hard grounder down the third baseline, just foul. That's going to be strike two. 0-2 count on Mahler here. Riley Richard steps back, resets himself. Now checking first, Dorsch trying to feint him. Delivers low, ball one. This at-bat will continue to go. Brandon Mahler sitting in the box with a 1-2 count. Delivery from Richard. Mahler pops it over to third base. Sun is playing a factor. Radaman able to overcome that to get the first out of the inning. And up to the plate comes Michael Kasich.
First baseman number 10, Michael Kasich.
His last time up, Michael Kasich singled into right field, drove in Brandon Mahler, gave the Cougars their first run of the game, and he'll take that first pitch for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes from Michael Kasich. He's got a man at first with 1 out. And he'll take a swing and a miss right there. Strike 1 now on the Cougars. 1-1 count. Dorsch checks over to first, delivers. And Kasich sends that one into center field. Dorsch was running. He has to double back to first quickly here. He's on a hustle, gets down, and is back safely. But he's going to be out. He didn't touch second again on his way back. That's going to be a double play. The Cougars get a man on to start, unable to do anything with it. And we're going to head to the top of the 7th. Marian leads 2-1 as we head to the final inning of the matchup. And welcome back. Top of the 7th here at the Thunderdome. Leading off for the Sabres, it's Dylan Peace. The Sabres lead 2-1 over the Cougars here in the top of the 7th. Peace sends that one into left field for a base hit. And now the Sabres are going to have their leadoff man on here in the top of the 7th. And the Sabres going to tap in a courtesy runner here. That courtesy runner is looks to be number 30, Brandon Moore.
Running at first base for Pease is number 30, Brandon Moore.
Man on first. Farrar delivers. That's going to be a bunt down the third baseline. Crater charging over to first. Makes the play. Tyler Crater. Great bare-handed fielding over in the infield. That's going to be out number 1. Moore advances to second. The Sabres trying to do what they can to get an insurance run here.
Catcher number 28, Ryan Nelson.
Moore at second. Ferraro throws over to second. Ryan Nelson up at the plate now for the Sabres. Grounded out to short his last 2 times up at the plate. Pitch on its way in there for a strike. Oh, 1 count now on Nelson. Throw down to second. Wide once again. Ferraro checks back to second. Winds up, delivers. Outside, ball 1. 1-1 count now on Nelson. Concordia University Chicago, they have a potent lineup. It's going to be the bottom part of that lineup coming up to the plate now for the Cougars, but pretty much up and down, every player on this Cougar lineup is a threat at the plate. And there's a grounder over to third. Crater can't feel it cleanly. And Nelson's going to be safe at first, and now with 1 out, the Sabres will have runners at the corners. Tyler Crater, that's going to go down as an error on the third baseman.
Shortstop number 1, Robbie Knorr.
And now, a mound visit as Robbie Knorr comes up to the plate. As head coach Colin Connor tapping into his bullpen. We're going to have a pitching change here with 1 out in the top of the 7th. As in from the bullpen comes Bryce Jones. We'll take a short break as Jones gets himself warmed up. We'll be back in just a moment here at River Forest. Welcome back to River Forest. Bryce Jones now on the mound for the Cougars, and he's in a bit of a jam here. Runners on first and second with one out. There's going to be one strike on Robbie Knorr. First pitch strike for Bryce Jones. Jones on the season for the Cougars. One of their best relievers. Lowest ERA of any Cougars pitcher, a 2.12 ERA. Only giving up 4 earned runs in 17 innings, 13 strikeouts, an opponent batting average of .212 for Bryce Jones. Winds up and delivers. Ground ball over to first. 5-4-3. Double play for the Cougars. Bryce Jones comes in, 2 pitches, gets out of the jam. And Marian unable to push a run across. That'll bring us to the bottom of the 7th. Sabres lead 2-1. Cougars one last chance to try and get back on top in this game. We'll take a short break. We'll be back in just a moment. And welcome back to River Forest here in the bottom of the 7th. Cougars, one last chance to get back in this one. Crater, hot shot over to shortstop. Play is made. James Bornick, a big stretch to bring it in. That's going to be the first out of the inning. Crater grounds out. 6-3 grounder. As up to the plate for the Cougars comes Jake Mahler. Jake Mahler at the plate represents the tying run. The Cougars trail by 1. Riley Richard in the game to close out his own start, looking to pitch a complete 7 innings here. Mahler fouls that one off for the first strike of the at-bat. And he'll take that one outside for ball 1. Richard delivers. Mahler fouls that one up and back for strike 2. Mahler today has struck out looking and grounded out. Richard delivers, and that's going to be outside, ball 2. 2-2 count on Jake Mahler. 1 out. Cougars have 2 outs remaining. Pitch on its way, just off the outside edge for ball 3. Jake Mahler gets himself into a full count here, trying to, at a minimum, get on base. Pitch on its way. Mahler fouls that one into the Sabres dugout. Good reflexes from the Marian University squad. Full count, pitch on its way. And that's going to clip the outside edge. Mahler goes down looking, not what the Cougars needed right there. And up to the plate is going to come a pinch hitter for the Cougars. Caleb Anderson now up. Now batting in place of Yashawn Boswell. The Cougars down to 1 out. They need to get a run here if they want to win. Marian, they really want to win this one. Gets themselves another conference win. Picks up their first win over the Cougars in 9 years. 1-0 count on Anderson. Pitch on its way. Pitch outside. Ball 2. Anderson represents the tying run at the plate. Nick Rensberger on deck. Richard delivers. Anderson tried to check up. I'll say he swung. That's strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Last out of the game. That pitch high for ball 3. Caleb Anderson trying to survive here. Pitch on its way. That's going to be in there for strike 2. And now Caleb Anderson will find himself in a full count here. Richard going to wind up and deliver. And that's going to be in there. Called strike 3. And that'll do it. Riley Richard strikes out Anderson to end the game. And the Cougars, they fall to the Sabres 2-1. Caleb Anderson not happy about the call. But Marian University, for the first time in exactly 9 years since April 6th, 2015, picks up a win over the Cougars. Final score 2-1. The Cougars struggle to get the offense going today. Great outing on the mound from Wyatt McLaughlin and the bullpen. Anthony Polano, Dylan Ferraro, Bryce Jones. On the end of the Marian University Sabres, Riley Richard made the start, and he went a full 7 innings. 6 strikeouts, one earned run allowed, 5 hits. And on the offensive end for Marian, your standout performers, Tyler Blum, pair of hits and an RBI. Lots of small ball today from Marian. Gave them that 2-1 lead over the Cougars. On the offensive end for the Cougars, got a few players with a couple hits. RBI from Michael Kasich drove in Brandon Mahler, who had a double to right field. And that was all the offensive production you got from the Cougars today. And they fell by 1, 2-1 to Marian University. And that'll do it for Game 1 of today's doubleheader. These two teams will be facing off again later today around 3 o'clock. Between Marian and CUC once again in about half an hour, around 2:30. We'll take a break here shortly. We'll be back later today on Cougar Sports Network with some more baseball. Elsewhere on Cougar Sports Network, had some Cougar lacrosse earlier today. Cougar softball going on right now across the way on the other end of the baseball field. And later today as well, Cougar men's volleyball. All of that will be on the Cougar Sports Network. Make sure to join us again for more Cougar baseball, though. That'll do it for now, and we'll be back later for more CUC baseball.